Really, like I would say this: it feels like Chief Brody wrestled with PTSD,
Yeah.
and about that, like there's a scene where he like was very hesitant to get in the water to get that piece of driftwood.
Mm-hmm.
He was very hesitant. It's like it's almost as if the shark could be right there, and he just and I get that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the town man. The mayor. How could this man get reelected? That's the question I have.
Mayor of
He,
Shark City. Yeah. Well, if you go by the book, the mafia kept him in power. There is books on this franchise too. There's Jaws, Jaws 2, and Jaws the Revenge. The books are better than the movies, I would say. Like in Jaws the Revenge, it's voodoo is controlling the shark. I'm not lying, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, so that's in the book. It's the mafia's keeping him in power. You know, kind of running the town into the ground. But in this movie, they don't really. I assumed the guy. I don't remember his name. I never can think of his name. The guy that's kind of over Larry, that
Yeah.
essentially gets Chief Brody fired, is mafia related. He just
Mm.
gives me that vibe that he's shady. He's
Yeah, he came off as weird. Like first thing he says, like cute, lovely kid, or you know. Then like he says, hey, I wouldn't know what I'd do without your wife, or something like that.
yeah. Neither would I.
Yeah, yeah. Brody was looking at him like, man, if you don't back up, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that yeah, this movie it needed a honestly, um, it missed a Hopper, um,
Hooper.
Hooper. Yeah, it missed a Hooper. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, he would have been excellent. Like you know, but or he needed, like you said, somebody to uh what. So this movie. Okay, two things. First, uh, the shark, one of his first victims. Well, not the first victim, but one of his first victims is a lady who actually blows herself up.
Yes. That
But
was on Facebook earlier, talking about her celebrating her death, her memory. Uh, the only person to ever kill herself in the Jaws franchise.
yeah, like,
um,
but I guess it's so he can get that burnt look,
yeah,
like the I would call the Halloween the Halloween kills mask. I would say it's that mask. You know you know what I'm saying, like that burnt
yeah, I get you. I get
appearance.
you. Uh, yeah, I, I can't even explain why she did what she did. Panic, I guess. But what are you hoping to do with the gasoline?
Mhm.
I mean, really, what are you hoping? You're pouring it all over yourself. What are you doing? It's like,
Yeah,
but
why she commit jihad and like try to blow the shark up, and the shark was like barely scathed essentially. Uh,
yep.
yeah, the cat agrees. Um, but yeah, man, I just thought I want to ask you this because the one of the best things about the original Jaws film, 75, right?
Yeah, 1975. Yeah.
Uh, it was the blockbuster, the very first blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
It is Spielberg's um, first. It's not his first film. He did Duel, but it's his first like major motion picture,
Yeah.
I would say, and he really knocked it out the park, and it started Spielberg a trajectory for him. But also, we all know that they had a lot of issues in the making of the movie where the mechanical shark, didn't work. So to work around that, Spielberg cut around it and just
Mm-hmm.
utilize atmosphere more than it was supposed to be seen more than we saw him. But he used atmosphere, which led to one of the best suspenseful films of in history, is Jaws. In this one, we see a lot of the shark. Your thoughts, Brandon?
We see too much of the shark. I don't like the shark. I don't like the look of the shark. I think the shark looks extremely fake. But hey, it looks better than 3 and 4. I'll tell you that. But I do like a couple of the scenes with the shark, but every time I see the shark pop up, man, I just think, what happened? Where's Bruce? I mean, I assumed you would use the same shark when you go in production of Jaws 2. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, it's trying to look like the same shark anyway, but it didn't look realistic.
yeah.
As a kid, I thought it did, but as an adult watching it, whatever, 30, 40 years later,
Mhm.
it doesn't hold up. The
You
shark
know what?
doesn't.
You know what? And the thing that was the best parts about this movie is honestly is when people would do things like that, get their feet in the water, or they want to try to get up and just trying to make their way up,
Yeah.
and you don't see the shark. That's the best parts of the movie. It's because in your brain you're like it's right there, But when you
Yeah.
see the shark, you actually see it. You're like, okay, you know. I will say that it's more of a it's more of a this one would be more horror than the previous
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I agree. More horror. It felt like a slasher film. Uh, the shark just was going after everything. It lost its realistic, it just realism. I don't know. Spielberg didn't come back. Hooper, Richard Dreyfuss didn't come back. Roy Scheider didn't want to come back. He was forced to do this. So I mean, no one seemed to want to return.
So that's why he kind of felt more phoned in, like
Yeah,
more like I'm here. You know,
yeah. It didn't seem like the Martin Brody we knew and loved from the first movie. Even if he does have PTSD, it felt like a completely different character to me.
yeah.
Every time I
It
watch
felt
it, I don't see Chief Brody.
he felt like what, and I'm gonna keep making Halloween references, but he felt like Sam Loomis, like later on, how he's like he's evil. We gotta kill him. He must die. Like things like
Yeah,
that. He felt more like that. Like the scene running on the beach with the gun and shooting at the bluefish,
yeah,
or whatever. Just like things, yeah, it makes him seem more unhinged. And also, I didn't like the fact that if the town lived through what they lived through not that long ago, including his family, you'd think that they would take it more serious. Like they wouldn't be
yeah,
like, well, no, no, you're out of your mind. It'd be different if nobody else knew that Jaws happened, that it was a shark killing people. That'd be different. Like they just still pass off like there wasn't a shark killing people. Then it'd be different. But we all know that Bruce was killing people in the first movie.
yeah.
And so
You bring up a good point. The town acted like nothing had happened before. Only Chief Brody was the paranoid one. I mean, I don't hate the movie. It's just when you compare it, and you can't help but compare it to the original. I mean, it's vastly different in every area. Like I thought I thought the script was bad. I thought the director was bad. I thought some of the acting was really bad, especially oh my god, I don't remember her name. Tina, maybe? No, it wasn't Tina. The one that screams at the end, constantly
oh,
screaming.
the screamer.
Jamie?
I
I
don't
thought,
know. She screamed a lot.
yeah, and it
She,
gets on my nerves every time I
um,
rewatch it. It's like, shut up, woman. But
I'm trying to pull it up. Now I will say this. Also, go ahead. Finish your thought.
oh, I was just, she just really got on my nerves. I just, but most of the kids got on my nerves. But I did really like Sean, Brody,
Yeah,
the little
Tina,
kid.
you was right, by the way.
Was that right? Okay.
Mhm.
Who recently passed away? I think a couple days ago. So I really liked him in this.
Maybe if I can, Jackie. You talking about Jackie?
Jackie, yeah, she's a
Okay.
screamer.
Yeah. Also, I do want to point out Keith Gordon, Doug, who obviously went on to play his most pivotal role would have been in Christine, as the kid who
Oh yeah,
owns Christine.
yeah.
Hey, Aaron and Brad. Hey, Brad. I read the actor
I'm
who
Brad
played
now.
Brody's son died in 56 at 56? I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what I was just saying. The kid that played Sean died like a couple days ago. He had cancer.
Oh wow. Well, I hate to hear that for him. But also, unfortunately, he was very terrible in this movie.
Oh, you didn't
But
like Sean?
yeah, I thought that like most of the characters in this movie was annoying. Even the Gordon kid, even the kid from Christine. I was like, oh, I marked that when I seen him. I'm like, hey, this guy's in the movie, and but they wrote him annoying, like he's too geeky, too just, and he's annoying. There's like maybe one or two characters in there that I kind of actually liked. The sailor guy, or not the sailor guy, but the one kid, that kind of heavyset kid that
Uh,
saves Sean. Uh,
Michael's best
yeah,
friend. Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, he
but
was good. I liked him.
yeah, I mean, but I was happy to see Chief Brody's Sheriff Brody, rather, is the sheriff or chief?
Chief.
Chief Brody. I was happy to see his wife reappear, but I felt like she was underutilized. She was used mainly as like as in like honey, you're acting
Hey,
crazy.
wait till you get. Well, you've seen Jaws 4. She's overutilized in that. I think she's
Yeah.
a terrible actress. I'm
Oh,
just being real.
like, have you always thought this? Like, did you not
Yes,
like that
yes.
in the first one?
I didn't like her in the original. I don't. I hate her in 2, and I really hate her in 4. I haven't seen anything else she's done. Thank God. I
Yeah,
don't.
I
I don't
only know
like
her
her.
from Jaws. I don't know her
Yeah,
from
I mean
anything
that's what
else.
most people know her from. I don't think she did a lot of work after this franchise.
Probably
But
not. Like,
I'm just not a fan. But I kind of wish they would have done more with Larry Vaughn Mayer. I felt like he could have played a bigger part.
mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I would say this, that they had too many. It's like they wanted him to come back, but then with the adding of the other guy, let's call him the mafia guy. Um, it just like seemed like two of the same characters. One less of who he was, and one more of who he was
yeah,
in the mafia guy. They just I felt like they just had two characters and they didn't know what. I felt like the script didn't. It wasn't a good script. It was probably rushed. They wanted to get something out there to capitalize on Jaws, because
yeah,
probably after Jaws, obviously, that started a whole creature feature type of thing with Piranha, the I think an orca movie. Just all kind of different
yeah.
little things that happened because of Jaws. But I felt like they like, oh no, we're gonna do it good, better. But I don't. But and with me saying all this, I'm not saying it's a terrible movie. It just isn't the same caliber as the first film. It's
I mean,
like
no,
Jurassic World,
part.
Lost World, or Part, yeah, Part Two or whatever. It's
Well, we
not a
have to
bad
disagree.
movie. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but it's not the same caliber as the first one.
Oh, I mean, no, I mean you're right. It's not, and I think Lost World's much better than Jaws 2, though.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
but it had Spielberg still there. If Spielberg was still, if he would have directed Jaws 2, this movie would be much better. The script would have been much tighter. It just, the story would have been better. I guarantee you, Hooper would have been in it. He would have got Richard Dreyfuss to return. Probably wouldn't have had the mafia guy in it. But hey, Brandon. Well,
I
I
saw
saw the book that inspired Meg 2 when I was at Kroger with my mother. The Trench. Down at the
I guess so.
Trench.
I guess so. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I just think that this movie, like, I agree with you. If it had Spielberg return, it meant like a lot of different things. It meant the cinematography would look better. The
Yeah.
shark would have looked better when you saw it. He probably would have shot atmospherically like he did the first one because it worked. It would have felt more like a Spielberg film. This didn't, like, you can tell when Spielberg isn't attached to something, you can tell that he's not attached. You know what I'm saying? You can literally tell, even if it's his product, you can tell that it's not him. It's like,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
But one thing I did really like when the guy I think it's the guy you from Christine and Tina.
mm,
It's later on in the like third act. It's the first real attack with the kids. When he gets attacked, that scared me as a child, and I still get chills from it watching it today. I think it's one of the best scenes in the movie.
yeah,
He's swimming and he gets taken down, and they're just rushing right to the boat, and it rips it apart. And, you know, I love that scene. It's not my favorite scene, but it's like probably my second favorite scene in the movie. I thought that was a really well done scene, and I love how Tina is when Chief Brody and I can't remember his name, Hendrix,
mm,
and ooh, Mrs. Brody come across that boat and they find her. She's all frantic, and I thought she did a really good job playing someone that had just pretty much been attacked by
yeah.
a great white shark. She was so frantic. I mean, it was. I thought she did a really good job.
And scared to get out the boat, scared
Yeah,
to, yeah. Like it makes so much. And I will say this about is it the youngest son, Sean?
yeah,
His name. I will say this about Sean. I apologize. I think Sean did a better job than the older brother. Is what I meant. Uh,
yeah. I was
Sean,
impressed with Michael.
yeah. Sean did a good job, especially the scene when he was like hanging on the fin of the boat that's
Mm-hmm.
overturned, and he was afraid to turn around. He was afraid to even reach for it. I thought he did a really good job. Like I would be the same way. I would be like afraid to move. Like you're afraid of any false move, you're gonna be in the water.
Oh,
And
especially in that situation. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
and you know, at any time that shark can just hit that, and it can jump. Like great whites can come out the water. So you know, you just you just living on a wing and a prayer, honestly. But uh, but yeah, I thought that was good. I agree. I think the lady that was attacked in the boat that was
mm-hmm.
hiding was great. Um, now, what I would have did to shot that scene differently is when he would have been taken under. He's been taken under and everything, and then like you know how Bruce too pretty much takes him and rams him into the boat,
Yeah.
and then like he tries to get up. What I would have did is when he impacted the boat, when he does try to get up, I would have had him have a big old gash in his head where you can see blood pouring out. You know, where he's like it just busted him open. Like it just feels like, oh, you're dead, bro. You know, just like a little bit more frantic. Uh, but yeah, but no, I thought that was a really a really good scene. I would have rather her been in the final act versus the screaming chick
Oh gosh,
that we
yes.
had because she was just more annoying. Like between her and she was unnecessary. There's too many. Also, they had too many kids that survived at the end. I think they should have more victims because
Well,
it's kind of cluttered to me.
I thought they had too many kids in general. Like it was like almost like 10 of them, you know, and it's just and you don't really get to know any of them other than Michael and Sean. Really, I mean, you don't know who they really are. I mean, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the guy's Michael's best friend. You know, it's Larry Vaughn's son, but who are these people? You know, really, I mean, you don't get to spend much time with them. And I thought they just, you know, just weren't needed. Of
I agree.
course, you know, they did what they did at the end, but and I like the end when Chief Brody gets there.
Yeah.
Like,
I
like
think
now I'm
that
tuned in. Like I'm excited. I'm ready for this final clash. But I also like the helicopter scene, the shark taking down the helicopter. I always thought
yeah
that was fun. I still think it's fun. It's not as memorable as it used to be. But once Chief Brody gets involved, I'm invested again, and I love how he kills the shark when he electrocutes him. Um, he's hitting it with his paddle. I had chills watching that again. Now the electrocution of itself was pretty bad, I thought, but you know, you're getting Chief Brody going up against the shark for the last time. So I thought overall, I thought that was a decent scene.
yeah I agree. I think that what I would uh, like what they would have done now is obviously all those kids because they had so many kids, they would have had a higher body count, and with them like just killing more of the kids is what they would have
Yeah.
done. But yeah, there's no need for all the kids to survive. Maybe two or three, maybe would have been fine. Uh, you know, like maybe a girl, boy, and maybe a girl, boy, and like Sean would have been nice to survive. Not the screaming girl, maybe somebody other than her. I thought for sure she was going to die. She needed to. But it's one thing I was thinking is I would love to see, honestly, be honest, I would love to see a direct sequel to the original Jaws, but it takes place in Amity, like literally 40 well, how many years has Jaws been? Over 40?
Almost 50, 48.
Oh, almost, yeah, almost 50. Maybe 50 years later, a direct sequel. Maybe Brody's kid, we can recast him or something like that, is now the reluctant sheriff. He doesn't really want to be there. He felt like he didn't really get to go out and do much.
Yeah.
And he can be there. You don't have to have the mom. You can have her die at the beginning if you want. Bring her back just to die. No, but I would love to see that. And I was trying to think. I think honestly, and this might be controversial, but I could see somebody like Marcus Nispel, who directed the Friday 13th remake, would be really good for it actually. Because I would say this about the Friday 13th remake. Uh, re, yeah, as a remake, I would say that he at least gave it atmosphere. It
Yeah.
wasn't boring. It was very graphic. Now it wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. And so, or somebody like that, somebody that can take it and breathe new life in it and make it feel like Spielberg, but make it horror, um, or suspenseful at least.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know who I would get to direct Jaws sequel. A lot of people don't want it. It's not gonna make fans happy. It's kind of, yeah. How about the first one where Brody told the shark to smile before literally blowing him out of the water by shooting him? That's a great scene. I mean, it's one of the best scenes in Jaws. I mean, literally, there's no bad scene in Jaws.
No, no, everything about the first movie, like me rewatching it last night again. I was pointing my Jaws sign. I have a sign somewhere. I don't see it, but but yeah, literally, there's no, like you said, there's no bad scenes in
No,
that
I
movie.
mean,
Um, it has a lot of atmosphere. The town feels like a real town. Um,
yeah, that's the problem I have with this movie. You didn't get to spend much time in town. Really, it was like, I don't know, a couple scenes at the mayor's office, the chief's office, but you didn't really spend time in the town. Really, it was mainly on the beach or in the ocean.
I'm gonna stop
Really,
looking for it. I can't find my sign. I don't know where my wife
but
probably put it somewhere.
I don't know. It's like I said, I kind of think people view Jaws like they do Back to the Future, for an example.
Like untouchable essentially.
Yeah, like don't want a remake, don't want another sequel. It's fine as it is. It's perfect. You know?
Well, that's what I said. I don't like you. That's why I said not a remake, but
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
direct sequel. A direct sequel would be okay because that way you still leave the original untouched, and you
Yeah, I
always
mean, you
will have that.
can't. I don't think that will ever be remade personally, but I'm cool with the direct sequel. I mean, I love Amity, so I want to go back. I want to see it what it is today. Whether Hooper returns or they do something with the kids now as adults, I would love a Jaws direct sequel. But
Yeah,
you know,
like Jordan Peele would probably do a good job at it, in a sense of, but I don't know if he could. Honestly, I would say this about Jordan. I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can pull off that small town feel like someone else could.
yeah,
Because even with like, I would say Nope was his trying to. It was an homage to Jaws. Nope was an homage to Spielberg in general, but it felt like Jaws, but with an alien. but but and I like the movie. I still like Nope. A year later, I still like it. But I think that the difference with Jaws and Nope is that Nope didn't feel like a small town. It felt isolated because it had two or three characters, four at the most, four or five. Really had like core characters. Whereas with Jaws, like the first one, looking back at it, man, that town felt like a town. Like it felt like a town that you would just drive up to, and like a
Yeah.
coastal town that people, everybody knows everyone. You know, I just felt like, and then like you felt like the heartbreak when the mother realized that it's her son that was eating. You
Mhm.
felt like why how she felt that way. And you can feel like the regret she probably had when she let him go back in there for 10 more minutes. Just
Oh yeah.
like the like it's just like, man, such a powerful film, but it's going to be hard for anyone to say, let me build on that. And it doesn't need to be built on. But I know people want to see. That's why we have Meg. That's why we have all these other shark movies, because people want to see Bruce again.
Yeah. I mean, Spielberg inspired so many people. A lot of people have done really bad shark movies, but I've watched plenty during my Shark Weekathon. But he inspired it, and people want to see sharks killing people, even though that's not their true nature. But that's not important. It's entertainment. But yeah, Meg definitely was inspired by Jaws. More so the books than the movie, but if it has that Jaws feel, the books do, in my opinion. Well, the first few, the last few kind of been a little out there, but
Mhm.
the first few, yeah, you definitely felt a Jaws theme. And yeah, I agree with you. I mean, people would want to see Bruce return, you know, but I don't think Spielberg's going to let it happen. But man,
Yeah,
if he would get on board with it, that movie Jaws, I guess you'd call it too, would be a huge hit. I mean,
or
people would
that,
just go to see what they've done.
and you don't even have to call it Jaws. Like I would just call it Amity, and just
Yeah,
and just make it about the town that just happens to 40, 50 years later the shark comes back, or another shark comes back, and I think with the CGI today, which it would probably be a CGI shark, I think they can
yeah,
make it look really good. Because CGI has come a long way there. I think they can make it look pretty
yeah.
realistic, or they can even play with CGI and actual a prop, like mechanical shark, uh, yeah, to make it work together. I don't know.
I do have a question for you though,
Yeah.
since you said you didn't like that they showed the shark too much.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was because, well, the first one didn't show it too much? We know it's a shark movie, so we got to show people want to see this shark kill people. You think that's
Yeah, I think that maybe the reason why they showed the shark is because people probably was like, oh man, I can imagine the audience was like, man, I wish I would have seen the shark more,
yeah,
or maybe I could see a Hollywood executive saying, yeah, what we need more shark, because last one we only see the shark like what two or three times, 4 or 5 at the most. What we
yeah,
need is more shark. Give me shark in the beginning, shark in the middle, shark in the end. I want more shark, 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 shark. That's probably what he said, smoking the cigarette. But yeah, I just see him doing that, and they're like, "All right, we'll give you more shark." Oh, no, now I need it scarier. Have him with burnt on his face and scars, and he's been through war. He's mad. He's vengeful. All right, yeah,
yeah. He's vengeful
yeah. But nobody knows why. But yeah, I
because
don't
he
know.
obviously took it personal that Chief Brody blew up Bruce.
Now, if you want to do a real killer uh, movie with a mammal, maybe like the killer whales, them things are crazy. Orcas are insane. So yeah, you can do a
I
movie
actually
with that.
liked the movie Orca when I first saw it.
Was that
I
like
s-
it's a direct ripoff of Jaws? I assume.
yeah, yeah, but I enjoyed it. I haven't. I only seen it once. Saw it as a kid. It was a little bit slow paced, like Jaws was, but I enjoyed it. But I don't know. With this one, I just thought Larry should have been more involved. The other guy should have got killed. I think as an audience member in 1978, you want to see this guy get it, and he didn't.
I agree.
I also think they needed a Quint-like character, and they didn't have one. If you go back and watch the first Jaws, I mean, Brody's awesome, Hooper's awesome, but when Quint really shows up and has screen time, he steals the movie. You needed that here. You needed someone to help Brody steal this movie other than the shark. And he really didn't have anybody. He was kind of alone.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but he was. And he needed help from an acting point of view, from a narrative point of view. Chief Brody needed some help.
Yeah. I agree. I think that, man, it's just, I don't know. Anything else you want to share about this movie?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Let me see. Matthew, say something?
You basically said what you said.
Yeah, I agree with Matthew. So I'll go ahead and give my marks for this. I'm gonna just give it. I would give it 3.
Oh,
yeah. It's not. I didn't think it was terrible. I wasn't really bored at it. I just was annoyed with some of the characters in it, and I thought that they have higher kill count than it did. But yeah,
I'm gonna give it the same score. It went down a little bit. It was a 3.5, but last night I watched it. I was kind of like, yeah, this isn't as good or memorable as I remember it being, and I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. But it is definitely the best sequel. There's no question about that. Unfortunately, it looks like we're probably gonna have to review those soon. Well, not soon, but next few Shark Week episodes. Unless something really great happens in shark cinema, there's not many salvageable shark movies left to review.
No, there really isn't any.
Trust me, I've watched plenty this Shark Weekathon, and I think I enjoyed maybe 6 movies that I watched.
You said you was I never seen that. Okay, I was trying to think of what I was going to choose next week. All right. Yeah, I would say the last good shark movie I saw wasn't a shark movie. It was Crawl. Crawl was the last great shark movie I saw. No, but if I want to specifically say a shark movie, is Shallow. Shallow is excellent.
Shallows was as quality goes, I think Shallows is the best shark movie since Jaws. Like straight up movie, good quality. But in my opinion, I have a love for Deep Blue Sea. I just think it's just so much fun.
Yeah, Deep Blue is a cult classic for me. It's fun. It's a time capsule of that late 90s, early 2000 type of.
I think that's what the Meg was going for, to be fun like Deep Blue Sea, and it has its moments. I'm a huge Meg fan. It does have its moments, but it's got some really slow parts, and I thought the final act was a little bit lackluster. Rewatching it, I still like the movie. I think it's a fun movie. It's just I'm hoping the sequel really blows it out of the water as far as the fun aspect.
Well, I was going to say The Shadow, Matthew, we appreciate you requesting it. The Shadow isn't streaming anywhere. We all would have to purchase it, and we're kind of broke. So you can think of something that streaming somewhere, we'll definitely review it for you. But maybe whenever that does come to streaming, we will definitely review it. You just got to keep us posted on it. But yeah, next week I think that I was trying to choose between some you probably already saw before, Piranha.
The original or the remake?
The original.
Yeah, I think I rewatched it last year, or watched it for the very first time last year. Is that Joe Dante or James Cameron?
Yeah, I think so. I never, but then I also wanted. I thought it'd be fun to watch Humanoids from the Deep, Roger Corman. So we'll probably watch Humanoids from the Deep, which
Okay, I don't think I've seen that.
it's a movie that is just it's ridiculous. So go in there knowing that it's ridiculous and have fun.
That's where I'm going tomorrow because I know it's going to be ridiculous. I know it's not going to be anything like the book.
You talking Meg too?
Yeah. So
See, I want to see that. I do want to see it. I stopped watching the trailer because it looks fun, and I like that it looks fun, and I want to see. So I was like, I think trailers. You know me. If y'all don't know, I have a war against
I can
trailers.
tell you right now, they haven't given away too much because I know what's going to happen because I've read the book. If they follow the book at all, any portion of it, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, I'm gonna watch the original again, but I don't know when I'm gonna watch the new one. I do want to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so
Yeah,
that's the main one I want to see.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, so
But
but yeah, I do want to see Meg. I think it'd be that's a fun theater movie. So, but all right, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey,
thank you for marking out. Also, what do we want people to do? I'm sorry, Brandon.
we want you to like, share, and subscribe to the Mark Out Movie Podcast channel. And leave a comment if I didn't say that.
You said it. You said it. All right. What did Matthew say? Let's see. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the theater, Brandon. It'll be fun.
Sure will.
Hey, Matthew, do me a favor. When you see Brandon, do the now fly thing to him. Do it to him. Oh, you'll see. Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Now fly. You'll see. It's gonna be fun. All right. Well, hey man, we thank you for watching this episode. Have a great weekend. Whatever you go see, enjoy. There's still movies out there. Oppenheimer, which I don't want to see. I listen. I'm not a Chris Nolan fan. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I like maybe three of his films. I think
I'm not a fan of his either, but that movie was awesome.
Yeah. I may eventually see it when it comes on streaming. I'm not. It's not.
I think you. I mean, I think it's fine to watch it when it comes to streaming. It's because it's really long. It's 3 hours, so especially if your leg's not feeling 100%. Yeah, it's a long wait. It's a lot of pressure. I would know.
On your back.
Yeah, I had my back was hurting after that movie, so. Yeah, we'll have to cut back on those really long movies.
Yeah, those long ones, man. What y'all doing? It's not that deep, guys. You're not making Gone with the Wind here. All right. But all right, we thank you. You have a good rest of your weekend and stay safe.